Welcome to Every Disney Fairy, where we go over every Disney fairy. Today's fairy is Fawn in the movies. Legend of the Neverbeast is a very Fawn-centric movie, which is refreshing as she doesn't get a lot of screen time in the other movies, disappearing and often being the only fairy in the group not to appear in scenes. The movie opens with Fawn flying and playing with the animals, as she meets up with Tink. Fawn tries to be mysterious about why she needs the contraption, but she caves and shows her Hannah, the baby hawk she's been hiding. Fawn's plan is to smuggle her out.
We're just taking berries to the forest. Nothing to it.
But don't berries usually come from the forest?
And she shrugs off Tink's worries.
Just keep smiling.
But they run into the other fairies who know something is up.
Don't berries come from the forest?
Not this particular variety, which is, extra berry delicious-tastic.
Fawn tries to keep Hannah safe from the scout talents and has an uncomfortable discussion with the queen about this kind of a thing becoming a regular occurrence, and she promises it won't happen again. While teaching rabbits to hop, she tries to convince them that she's on the straight and narrow.
We're talking model citizen all the way.
But they get scared by an unfamiliar sound, which Fawn of course has to follow. Tracks and hair lead her to a cave, where she debates listening to her head or her heart.
Heart gets you in trouble, head is your friend. And yet, head is making me talk to myself.
And she decides she's going to become a model citizen.
Starting first thing tomorrow.
Without knowing what Gruff is at this point, she goes to pull the thorn from his paw. When he catches her, she tries to use her knowledge of animals to plan her next move.
Play dead! No, freeze! Oh, the opposite! Make myself look big!
And she chooses the wrong one. She rigs a makeshift pulley and is able to pull the thorn out of his paw, but gets trapped by a rock. Luckily, Gruff doesn't eat fairies, and Fawn manages to convince herself that it's her duty to study him.
For the queen.
When she goes to get supplies, she's confronted by Nyx, but she plays dumb about the noise and sneaks back off to study Gruff. She observes, copies, and irritates him, but when he sees she's sparkly, he decides to tolerate her. When Gruff finishes his tower, he grabs his sparkly companion, and they take off to build the next one. Fawn talks his ear off and eventually gives him the name that we all know and love.
Yep, Gruff suits you too.
For the next tower, Fawn helps using her pixie dust. They have a bit too much fun though and end up destroying Sunflower Meadow, causing the scouts to track them. Fawn is able to lead Gruff away but realizes she's got to tell the queen about this. But first, she introduces him to her friends and accidentally lets it slip that it was her that destroyed Sunflower Meadow.
He did it.
She explains to them Operation Gruff-A-Go-Go. When Fawn goes to meet up with the queen, she realizes Nyx has beat her to the punch, telling them the legend of the Neverbeast. Fawn covers for Gruff and they have to abort mission. She tells her friends about the legend and they're rightfully spooked. Fawn doesn't believe the legend but does fear for Gruff's safety, so decides they have to leave first thing in the morning. But when she wakes up, he's nowhere to be found. Fawn and Tink split up, with Tink checking the winter woods while Fawn leads the scout talents away. And when Fawn catches up with Tink, she's been knocked out and Gruff begins his transformation. Thinking the worst, Fawn calls for Nyx's help, and they get Tink out of there. Fawn meets up with Gruff, but she's brought the scout talents with her, and they knock him out, fearful of what he's capable of. With Tink awake, she tells Fawn that Gruff was actually pushing her out of the way to save her life, and this makes Fawn feel awful. They manage to free Gruff, and Fawn takes him to finish what he started, as the storm gets worse. Since Gruff is partially blind from the nightshade, Fawn leads him with her glow. Nyx messes with the rock piles, and the storm gets worse. Fawn sends Nyx to get the other fairies to safety, and she leads Gruff into the eye of the storm, getting hit with a blast, and it looks like she's not gonna make it. But Gruff uses his beard as a defibrillator, and she's saved. With the day now saved, Fawn and Gruff get to spend a little bit of time together, but Fawn can tell he's ready to hibernate. Knowing they won't see each other again, she says goodbye as he looks at her for the last time. And that's Fawn in the movies. Here's a list of the fairies coming soon. What fairies would you like to see me cover? Join me in the next one for Iridessa.